I'm making this video because I've noticed a lot of you guys are leaving money on the table with your rendering setup. As a freelancer, rendering is going to end up being one of your biggest expenses on large projects. The current cost per frame for a render that takes about 5 minutes per frame on my dual 3090 workstation is about 74 cents per frame. This is on Render Street, one of the market-leading render farms for Blender. Sounds cheap, right? Well, at this rate, a 1-minute animation at 30 frames a second would cost $1,339. Yeah. You might say, well, I'm passing it on to my clients, and that very well might be true, but if they want revisions and you have to re-render, you're now passing on $2,678 to your client in just costs. This is why it's critically important to structure your projects to reduce render costs and avoid re-rendering. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how to do that. First off, this is assuming the project is something that has to be done in cycles rather than Eevee, which is typically much faster, and if you've already done everything you can to make it work in Eevee and it just doesn't, and you have to do it in cycles, then this is for you. This also assumes that you've done any optimization possible to get the render speed as high as you absolutely possibly can. If you've done all that stuff already, then you need to start using light groups. Light groups are a user-created set of render passes that isolate specific user-assigned lights. Here's how you use them, and why it'll save you a ton of money. To use light groups, first you have to create them. With your render engine set to cycles, go to the View Layer tab of the Properties editor, and under Passes, open the View Layers tab, and in this menu, you can create your light group. Each group can be whatever you want, and will be rendered out as a separate image. For these ones, I'm going to create 3 separate groups: interior lights, backdrop lights, and environment lights. Next, I'm going to go into the compositor, I'm going to add denoise nodes, and pass the outputs through those just to clean them up a little bit. Then I'm going to add a file output for each of my new layers. Then finally, I'm going to duplicate the compositing setup I already have and pass it through that so that all of the layers have the same consistent compositing setup. In the future, I'm going to share a more complicated tutorial with you guys that shows how you can use an EXR file to store all of these in a single file. But for now, we're going to keep it simple with PNGs because I want this to be approachable for artists who haven't used more complicated compositing setups. With my output set up, I'm going to assign my lights. To do this, I'm going to go to each light object. If it's a mesh with an emissive surface, then just select the object itself. And if it's a light object, just select the light. And in the Object tab of the Properties editor, under the Shading section, open the Light Group section and assign your light to the group of your choice. I'm going to assign these interior lights to my Interior Lights group. What it's going to do is it's going to tell the render engine to only include the light data from these lights in that group's pass. So I'm going to get an image with just the light from these particular lights, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to do the same thing for this emissive plane that is my backdrop, and lastly, I'm going to assign my environment lights. The sun lamp is pretty straightforward, you do it the same way as any other lamp, but if you're using an atmosphere or HDRI setup, you're going to have to go into the World tab of the Properties editor, and you'll find the light group setting for the world under Settings. Now that I have that all set up, I'm going to render. With my render done, we can see what our output looks like. I'm going to show you this in Photoshop, but you can actually do similar stuff in a video editor or compositor of your choice. You can see here that I have each of my light layers that only have the light data for the group of lights I assigned. Now I can take these and set the blend type to screen, which will ignore the dark parts of the image and essentially composite them into the original image. But now I can do really cool stuff, like turning down the background light, tinting it blue, and bringing the interior light brightness up to make the scene go from day to night with no re-rendering. This is why light groups tie back to what we were discussing at the beginning. If I set my light groups up correctly, I can now make huge sweeping changes to my light colors, brightnesses, even time of day in a scene without re-rendering. If a client requested a lighting change on that 1-minute animation example from the beginning, you'd eat a $1,300 cost to re-render it if you didn't have a prior agreement with them. But if you set up your light groups, you can now make the changes in post, wow your client with a really quick turnaround time, and keep those costs from eating into your profits. There are a lot more cool post tricks that I'm going to go over in future videos that can save you even more money, but I hope that you guys all try this one first, because I think it's one of the coolest.